Brentford 3, Tottenham 1. Welcome back to Total War Spurs. Delane, how are you, bro?
Yeah, good, bro. Besides from this shambolic of a season we've had, but other than that, I'm good, man.
Yeah, well, as you can see, I'm all rugged up in the jumper. It's nice and cold here in Australia. But before
hmm
we get into it, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification button, the bell that is down below for all future content and watch-alongs. And make sure you're sharing our channel, guys. We're 8 away from 100. Appreciate everyone for all the support on the watch-alongs and all the videos. And we just, hopefully we can get to the end of the season with 100 subs at least. But let's get into it. Once again, I think we've said that a few times this season, a game of two halves.
hmm
A couple of changes that we kind of were surprised about. It looked like at the start we're playing a back five with Dan Juma and Davies as wingbacks, but we ended up going. It looked like a 4-3-3, but I'm pretty sure it was a 4-2-3-1. But on the formation, bro, how did you feel about it?
Well, as we were doing our live watch on, I think you I think you called it out there. Kulu was playing centrally, which was I wasn't too fond of it, but then again, it actually showed what he can actually really do. Um, but yeah, I was surprised about the lineup. To be honest, when they released it, I was actually really surprised. We had a few injuries out. I think I think it was Hoiberg and Romero that were out injured, and that kind of put me in the back foot, going, okay, we got Sanchez, we got Langley. We're like, okay, this could be a really shit game, or it could be a really interesting game.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, but the formation itself, I think it would have worked, but yeah, it's unfortunately it didn't work for us in this game.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got the early goal. Harry Kane, Harry Class, the rest with
hmm
that banger of a goal.
That was a banger of a goal, man. That was absolute.
I said it before the free kick. I said if he hits this when it's flat, he's gonna skyrocket it. But it seems like we've kind of found a little workaround. Kulu did a little step on the ball and rolled it back for Kane, and with the ball in motion, Kane whipped it top left hand corner, banger of a goal. One of the sweetest goals you'll ever see. Was pitch perfect. I was buzzing. I thought 8th minute we got an early goal. And with the new formation, especially with Kulu, he and even Basuma, a big up Basuma, probably his best game of the season.
100% was the best game.
He looked good and he was carrying the ball. He dropped the shoulder a few times. He looked confident in his ability with the ball at feet, and that's the Basuma that we should have got. And I think maybe when he came over, it was the pressure of Conte or the formation, or even just his confidence in his own ability coming in with price tag, one of the best midfielders last year for Brighton, or in the league, I should say, not just for Brighton. And maybe the pressure got to him, but he looked really good, comfortable in midfield. And Kulu playing centrally, I wouldn't mind seeing him there a couple more times. I feel we've been calling for it all season. And he looked good. He looked good in that midfield, especially in that first half. He got the ball. He would drop the shoulder. He's strong enough to push players off, hold the ball up. I felt like it was a really good insight into what Kulu can do with his ball at feet a bit more, not having to run out in the wings.
Him and Samuel Lincoln doing good plays together too. Like doing the one touch. Kulu doing the little flick back behind them. So look, it was working well. But then it kind of did more to that story. It kind of just fell off.
Well, I think on that note with the Sonny, I do feel like a few touches Sonny made there where there was one where Kulu put him in a 1-2 and he went to drag the ball from behind himself and bring it forward so he could run onto it. And he mistouched it. And I feel like if he dragged that, he was in on goal, 1-on-1, and I feel like he would have banged it, and that would have been 2-0 in the first half. And that's like, I think the clinical strikes let us down in the first half. We should have been 3 or 4 up.
100%.
And then I don't know what Mason did at halftime. If no one knows, Dan Jimmer did play on the right, but he was making runs going forward, a hell of a lot of runs, and they weren't. It was like they weren't playing him in. It was shocking to see. There were so many times where if they played him in or even tried, we could have got something off. But defensively, Dan Juma just like left Royal by himself.
Yeah.
But we didn't see anything dangerous come in until the second half. 3 unanswered goals by Brentford. I don't know what Thomas Frank said to them at halftime, but it worked, and Mason had nothing to counteract it.
As soon as that first goal in by Mbeumo, I was like, "Here we go. This is gonna start them off." And then, it started them off. Our defense once again has let us down.
Especially
And
on that left-hand side, Davies and Lenway got torn apart by Mbeumo.
I just don't know why, and I just don't know why they don't go to him. That go to him. You know he's a dangerous. You know Ivan Toney's not there, so he's the next threat. So go to him. He's gonna pop off a shot no matter what off that left foot. So you have to go to him. So yeah, as soon as that shot went off on Mbeumo, I was just like hands down. I'm like, we're done. They're just gonna keep coming at us now. They're just gonna keep coming at us, and yep, they did. They certainly did. They keep coming at us, and that's how they got the 3-1 against us. So yeah, look, our defense now. I know we got one more game to play, but our defense in the summer, we need a big summer. I'm telling you right now, we need a big
I
summer.
think we need, depending on who we get as a manager, I'm hearing that Arne Slot is pretty much starting to be linked. However, I have heard Tottenham kind of did it straight after the game. I don't know if any of you are watching, but I don't mean Delane and Brad were watching. And they panned to Levy at the end of the game when it was 3-1, and he looked fucking devastated. His missus was even patting him on the leg to give him some comfort because he was getting berated by the fans. The club's we're now 8th or 9th at the moment. Like we could end up finishing 9th if we lose, and Brighton have got City on Thursday, so I don't think they're winning that game, but they've still got a game in hand. And if they win that, we're out of touch of conference. So we might even be in Europe next year, which I'm going to say it might be a blessing in disguise. Mm-hmm. But Levy's got to realise this shit. And going back to what we're saying with the defence, if we're playing a back four next season, we need at least 2 to 3 centre backs, 1 or 2 left backs, and a right back, at least.
Yeah.
Because we've got Romero there. We need at least a left-sided centre back, and then 2 backups for those guys.
Yep.
Or 1 backup and a youth player, and then if we're playing on the left-hand side, Doji might be able to be there, so we might need to get just 1 more. But Regulon, I don't know if he can play there. Davies should be shipped out. Like we're gonna need at least 4 players in the back line. That's to shore it up. And if we go 5 at the back, we're gonna need 3 centre backs next season, minimum, with Romero. Yeah. Ship out all the shit ones that we have, and then we got to address the midfield. And if we lose Kane, then we got to address the striker role. Like I know we've got Richarlison, but I don't think Richarlison's going to score as many goals as Kane does.
No, and he's not gonna do what Kane does either. He's not gonna provide the assists. You know, he's not gonna drop deep. You know, try and bring in Son and like Kulu or something into the game. So I mean, look, yeah, we're gonna have to go hard on the summer. If Kane goes, which I hope he doesn't, there's rumors that he's gonna stay, which I hope that's true. Then look, we need to just listen to what he says, because from what I understand, he's the pretty much your go-to guy that, you know, if Levy wants to keep him around, Levy has to listen to him. Levy has to listen to Kane. Yeah. Just all the senior players just has to listen up to him, because, man, as I think there's a few people that said, if we didn't have Kane, if we lost Kane, we could easily be down towards the relegation.
Yeah, well, Kane scored over I think just under half of our goals this season, and he scored against, I think, 15 of the 20 teams. He scored against, or 6, something like that. He scored more goals, like he scored against every single team more than even Haaland does. So he scored against pretty much every single team, home or away, whichever one. He's pretty much, if we didn't have Kane, we'd be in 15th, 16th, maybe even relegation.
Yeah,
like that's 100%. How important this guy is to us, and that's what I was saying before about the manager is. If we get someone like Arne Slot, who plays, I think he plays a 4-3-3 or he plays a 4 at the back. I don't think he plays. I think only like Conte and fucking Mourinho play 5 at the back. Not many other teams do. No. So like, if we go to a 4 at the back, it actually might work out for us because you can play the midfield 3. all you got to do is get a couple of creative midfielders or a creative striker / deep lying striker to go into that midfield to help out, and we can move Kulu in there, and then we just need to shore up the wingers. And then if we keep Kane, it's just the defense in the midfield. I think the forwards are going forward. We don't need to get anybody. I feel like if we keep Danjuma, Son, Kane, replace Moura with another one, or I'm going to say it. Dane Scarlett started for fucking England again on the under-20s. So did Alfie Devine. They played in the major tournament, and I'm pretty sure they won. Let me just double check that. They played today, this morning. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, all I know is that they won this morning.
Yeah.
And there's they're playing in the under men's team, and they beat Tunisia 1-0 in the World Cup, FIFA 20 World Cup.
Yeah, there you go. So basically, look, there's our youth coming through. So Divine and Scarlett, and then obviously you got Parrott. So I mean, like, look, we got a lot of loan players coming back. So I mean, like, there's gonna be a lot of shipping out. A lot of people, gonna get sold. Maybe keep. So look, Levy's got his hands full right now.
And sorry, Delane. Dane Scarlett scored.
There you go.
Dane Scarlett scored the only goal of the game.
There you go. So I mean, look, this kid is a real serious prospect. He's a real serious prospect. So I mean, look. So Levy's got his hands full right now, obviously with the manager, the sporting director, whoever's going to come through. So I mean, look, he's going to have to please these fans because we're not going to be taking the shit anymore. He's Kane's only got one more season. He's a free agent, so he's got to do.
Yeah, he ain't signing a new contract unless he's guaranteed trophies. And I want to point out, Levy would have seen it. We saw it. There was purple and yellow gold balloons on that, as they say. Purple and gold until we're sold. The movement's starting to and the black balloons as well. That's for Levy out. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah,
so like that's the thing. Levy out's a consistent thing out home and away. We got the protests are going to obviously get bigger. And Levy needs to do something. If we lose Kane on a free next season, his head will be on the chopping block. People will be storming his house. I know it sounds a bit dramatic, but I can tell you the way the club's going. We're turning into AFTV, like all the big Tottenham channels, and the fans are turning against each other. It's going to be all in brawls at games now. If we don't, if something doesn't happen, and I don't, Levy's a very smart man. He's got to understand, and the way he looked, like he was pissed off. But if he's a real fan, then he knows what he needs to do to fix this.
Exactly. If he's a real footy fan, he knows what to do to fix this club to get us back to where we used to be and where we want to be. So I mean, look, after this game against Leeds, it's going to be a real big summer and clean out for him, and he's going to have to listen to the managers, the sporting director, whoever's coming through, to the players he wants, and he has to get the players he wants. Not another side like, okay, if you get like for instance, if we were meant to get Bruno Fernandes, who do we go for? Jensen Fernandes.
Yep.
So I mean, look. He can't be doing that shit no more. We almost got Pablo Dybala, obviously, because of his I think it was, can't remember, was it his visa or something? I can't remember. I can't remember what happened. But look, these deals, he needs to get them over the line quick and fast. There's going to be clubs sniffing around for all the players that we want. So it's going to be a really big summer, and let's just hope he does. Let's just hope he fucking just doesn't, man, because obviously these fans won't be sticking around for much longer.
Yeah, and on that summer, let's try and finish this video on a positive. Coming into the after the last game of the season, which will be this Sunday, we'll be doing our last live watch along for this season. Mm-hmm. That is going to be 1:30 a.m. The kickoff for us. So we'll be starting the watch along at 1 a.m. Monday morning. So that will be if I double check will be the 29th, 1 a.m. Australian Standard Time. Obviously, it's going to be 4 o'clock in the Arvo over there. Was it 4 o'clock? Yeah, it's 4 o'clock in the Arvo in England. Then it'll be our last watch long for the season on our first season on YouTube. But we are starting to crank up and get some stuff ready for you guys for the new season. We will be having a blocker break because transfer window doesn't start until July. I'm pretty sure it's July. Does it start?
I think so. Hey, I can't.
Pretty sure it's July 1st.
Yeah.
What we'll be doing is we'll be watching all the transfers, slowly leading up to the transfer window opening, and then we're going to be trying to do some shorts and some videos daily, if not every second day, about transfer news, transfer rumors, possible targets, and our thoughts on all of that. We'll be hitting you with more reviews and previews of the friendlies, of the pre-season tour, and going to start cranking. We don't know what's happening with the new FIFA or anything like that. I know it's changing over to EA Football, but there is a few stuff going on. So once all that stuff gets announced and we know what's going on with that, we'll be hitting you up with some gaming streams as well. We did promise it this season, but I'll be honest, FIFA 23 was a letdown for me, and it's very buggy. And because we play on PC, it's a lot harder to get games. So by the time the new season comes around, we're going to fix that stuff up for you guys and put out more content. If you have watched this video, as again, please like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification button, share the videos around, share our channel around. Really appreciate it. We're on the road to 100. 8 more people. If you're watching this and you haven't subbed yet, please sub. And yeah, we're gonna be around. Make sure you're hitting the comments up as well. We love banter. If you come to our stream, especially our last one, a bit of Arsenal guys came into banter, and Brad was a bit fiery because it's a Saturday night, bit on the bit of the drinks. You know what I mean?
Bit of the juice. Yeah.
But before we wrap it up, Delane, anything else you want to add to the Brentford review or to anything I've said?
Nah, look, I think we've pretty much summed it all up. I think we just need to go into the next game. Obviously you're playing away, but just need to go to our last ever season game, go out with a high, and hope for the best. To be honest, and then move on to the next season.
Yeah, I don't think there's much else we can really say about that. There will be a lead review after the game, and that might be our last video for a couple of weeks while we get stuff going. So thanks for joining us, guys. Take it easy. And as we always say here at Total War Spurs, stay Spursy.
Stay Spursy, guys.